All right, Kipster, so what I'm going to model for you right now is how to find the central idea of a section of a text. And this is a skill that we've practiced before, but I feel that we need more practice. And so I want to model this for you right now. So what you're going to watch me do is you are going to watch me read the section, and I am going to be thinking, what does the author want me to learn about the topic? In this case, our topic is a little more specific because we are going to be learning about the Dakota tribe. I can see that in the subheading. And so while I'm reading, I'm going to be thinking, what does the author want me to learn about the Dakota? Then I'm going to write that response here and try to find a pop-out sentence that's a sentence that can prove my thinking. So let's read. It says, following the U.S.-Dakota War of 1862, the Dakota that surrendered, mostly when children, were forced to march for 6 days from the Lower Sioux Agency in Minnesota to Fort Snelling. 1,700 Dakota began their march on November 7, 1862. During their 6 days of marching, they were ambushed and attacked by angry white settlers. They would spend the winter at Fort Snelling, and by the time of their departure in May 1963 to march to another camp at Crow Creek in what is today South Dakota, hundreds have already died of disease. Before the end of the year, a full quarter of those that left Minnesota after the war would be dead. And so I have to think, like, what does the author want me to know about the Dakota? And I, as a reader, have to figure out what the most important information is, right? And so as I'm thinking what the author wants me to know about the Dakota, I think that he wants me to focus on what happened to them when they were removed from their home. And so something that stood out to me was in the last sentence of the text, where it said that before the end of the year, a full quarter of those that first left Minnesota after the war would be dead. And I also know that following the U.S.-Dakota War of 1862, the Dakota that surrendered, mostly the women and children, were forced to march for 6 days from the Lower Sioux Agency in Minnesota to Fort Snelling, right? And this caused many of them to die. So now that I have some evidence, I am going to type my thinking and answer this question in my own words. This is called the central idea, right? We as readers need to be able to pick out what the most important information is and describe it, right? So I'm going to think about all of what I just learned, and I'm going to say that after the Dakota surrendered to the U.S. Army, many of them died on their long journey to a reservation. And so I've now proved this with the information that I've highlighted in my pop-out sentences, and I've answered the central idea question. You are going to do this for every single section of this article. I hope this helps explain what you are going to be doing and how to find the central idea.